Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And of course, it's cold right now. Yes, we did have a band of snow that moved across our area last night. I'll show you how much longer until our temperatures start to warm up.
And a moving display of respect. State and local agencies lined the streets as the body of Officer Roger Smith traveled to.
Do you remember this? Last year, we had the opportunity to see the northern lights in our area. So many people got excited about it. This is some of the video from last year that people were able to take. I tell you, I tried to go out and see it. I couldn't even see it on my phone, but there were a lot of people that were able to see it. And now, today, there's the potential, again, at least tonight. So joining me is Tony Rice here, who's a NASA ambassador, to talk a little bit about our next chance to see the Aurora Borealis. So a lot of buzz. People love to see it. They love to talk about it, Tony.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect what we saw last year, around this time last year, this time around. It's not going to be quite as strong, but we've actually got two coronal mass ejections that are heading for us right now. The rub of it is we don't know when they're going to arrive. One is going very fast, the other is going very slow. And talking with our friends out at the Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, they've got some moderate confidence on exactly when it's going to happen. We are pretty sure that it is going to reach Earth, and at least up in the upper parts of the country, they're going to be able to see some really nice views up overhead. We have the possibility we might be able to see some color on the horizon.
So it, of course, most of the time is well to our north. And of course, that's where it's more likely up in Canada, up near the Great Lakes, near the Canadian border. And then possibly visible is just there, say, from New York westward. And we are in the maximum visibility scenario. But when we look at what the forecast was last year, when we were able to see so much of it, we were in the possibly visible, and the max visibility scenario was well to our south. So again, it doesn't look as likely this time. But still, with two of those coming together, if they come at the same time, does that give us a better chance, or just one of them needs to be strong enough?
There is a possibility they could combine forces, if you will. And what we're seeing is charged particles that are being introduced in the upper atmosphere. And that's what you're seeing right here. It's called a coronal mass ejection. It's this: the sun basically burps and sends out all of this energy our way.
Yeah, we've got this graphic here, and you can see, so the energy comes out from the sun and it hits the Earth, and all those electronic particles hit the magnetic field, and then potentially light happens. And so it just depends on if it's strong enough to move all the way down to the south.
Absolutely. We're keeping our eye on it because we'll know about an hour beforehand what exactly might be happening.
Well, we'll watch it carefully. Tony, thank you so much, as always, for coming in to explain all this for us.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of buzz about the Northern Lights. Thank you both. Well, crews are hard at work decorating this year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The 75-foot Norway spruce will be wrapped with more than 50,000 multicolored LED lights and topped with a Swarovski star. The official live tree lighting takes place on December 3rd at 8 here on WRAL. And the tree will remain on display until mid-January.
Now, some of you may have noticed some odd lights in the sky last night. Wasn't Aurora Borealis, too soon, right? Well, WRAL meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us how this Arctic blast is the reason behind the illusion in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
This is something that you usually see in some of the northern plains during these Arctic air outbreaks. So to see it in North Carolina, pretty rare. You see those lights going vertical right there. Thanks to James Benson for a great vantage point in Wayne County. And then Brian out of Silk Hope in Chatham County got that same visual. So these light pillars will happen when the air close to the surface is at least 15 degrees or lower. So you've already got very cold air, and within that, you've got ice crystals that are suspended, but these crystals have a very specific shape. They're a hexagon or a plate. So what you have is street lights that are poking through those ice crystals, and the ice will bend the light so that you see these vertical pillars. Again, really cool and pretty rare in North Carolina, especially in early to mid-November. So if you saw anything like that in the Monday night sky, we want to see your pictures. Send those to us, WRAL.com/report it.
Yes, send us all the photos of there and any other weather you may be seeing out there, as long as it's safe to do so. Like I said before, we have Elizabeth Gardner tracking the next weather maker for us. What's it looking like outside right now, Elizabeth?
We got so many good pictures this morning as we had this band of snow move across our area. And that was pretty cool. You know, so much of it was up into the mountains, but we got our chance to see some as well, which is wonderful. The next thing that happens is this high pressure system moves closer to us and it switches our wind to southerly. And when that happens, we're going to see a nice big warm up, but that won't happen until during the day tomorrow. So we're still looking at a cold night tonight after a cold day today. Chris Myers sent us this one from Halifax County. Just a reminder, you go to WRAL.com/report it to send us your photos. We love to see them no matter what it is. I've also really loved watching this camera in Boone today. That sunshine has really melted all of the snow that was on the road. This morning at about 6 a.m. it was almost covered, and that sunshine this morning, once it came out, has really helped things out, and it's feeling warmer there. Plenty of people out and about, but gosh, this morning winds were at about 40 miles per hour, and the wind chill was 4 degrees there in Boone. It's pretty, but it's cold. We take another look here. This is a look at Beach Mountain, and Beach Mountain, as we said, is going to open next Friday, not this Friday, but Sugar Mountain is open today, and tomorrow Cataloochee, which is near Asheville, is going to open. So the ski resorts making that snow as fast as they can because it's about to get warm again. Our wind chill though right now is in the mid-30s, 35 in Roxborough, 36 Fayetteville, 37 in Goldsboro and in Southern Pines. And that wind chill, of course, stays chilly. Not as much this afternoon. I mean, our high is going to be in the mid-40s, and that's about the way it will feel. But we will see that wind chill dropping into the 30s rapidly this evening. With the dry conditions and the winds that we're seeing, we do have high fire danger for today and again tomorrow. And if it feels like this is awfully cold for Veterans Day, it is. This is going to be the coldest high this afternoon since 1952, and our morning temperature the coldest since about 1996. And the coldest morning for Veterans Day was 22 degrees back in 1957. So it is not something that we always see this time of year. Our actual temperatures right now are in the low to mid 40s, and we're on our way up just into the mid 40s. So it's not going to get a whole lot warmer than it is right now. We take a look at our temperatures around town: 46 in Raleigh, 45 in Durham, and 47 in Fayetteville. Overnight tonight, here we go again. Not quite as much wind chill to deal with, but about as cold. Our temperature of 32 in Southern Pines, 31 Benson, 31 Lewisburg, 32 in South Hill, maybe a degree or two warmer than what we saw this morning, but not enough to really notice the difference. The afternoon, though, will definitely feel different. 62 degrees for the high, so we're going to go from 46 to 62, so easily 15 or more degrees warmer for tomorrow. And then we'll hold it in the 60s until we hit the 70s on Saturday and Sunday, which in my book will feel nice.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, back to that story that we first told you about at the top of the hour. This crashed right in front of NC State's campus on Western Boulevard and Avon Ferry Road. This is a live look from our WRAL camera, our tower cam, looking down at that. You can see an ambulance there on scene. There was a fire truck there that left. It seems as if this tow truck is about to get to work here. They just pulled up about maybe 30 seconds ago. So we're still working to get more information about what happened here. We do have some video on the left-hand side of your screen. That is from the ground. That is one of our photographers on the ground getting video there. But also up above, you can see the scene and what's going on. Again, that tow truck is there, working to get more information about if anybody was hurt in this, how many people were involved in this. As soon as we get more information on that, we will bring it to you from the Live Center.
Michelle, thank you. Loophole closure. Coming up at 4, we look into a ban on hemp included in the Senate's federal spending bill. What it would mean for local shops selling hemp products with THC.
And then at 6 o'clock, Renee, lowering euthanasia rates. Our WRAL Investigates team is taking you to an animal shelter with some of the lowest rates in the state, what they're doing, and what other shelters can learn from them.
As we approach the end of the year, WRAL will help you get your tax questions answered. Live on Your Side is partnering with the North Carolina Society of Enrolled Agents to answer your tax planning questions for free. Tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m., you can speak with a tax professional about your questions or issues. Tax Pros on Call will answer your calls. We'll have that phone number for you closer to the event.
Rental car companies are seeing a spike in one-way rentals, and this is happening as there's a widespread flight cancellations at major U.S. airports. The flight cuts have led to thousands of airports delaying and flight cancellations, And across the country, we know one rental car company reported a 20% rise in one-way rentals. Travelers are renting vehicles as a backup plan to help reach their destinations. Target customers could soon get a friendlier shopping experience there. It's part of the company's new 10-4 policy. Basically, it requires employees to greet all customers when within a certain distance. Staff members within 10 feet of a customer, they must smile, they must make eye contact, they must wave, and use approachable body language. Employees within 4 feet of a shopper have to personally greet them. Target is hoping it will make customers feel more appreciated.
We're not alone dealing with an Arctic blast of cold air. Coming up, how people, places, and pets across the country are coping with heavy snow and wind chills in the teens.
And while this cold weather may have you craving comfort food, well, we'll tell you about the best foods to keep yourself healthy and boost your immune system. Oh yeah, and here's your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A major blast of winter-like weather is sweeping all across the U.S., bringing plunging temperatures to the East Coast.
Wind chills dropped into the teens and 20s, and dozens of record lows are expected across the South. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist shows us how humans and animals are coping with this blast of winter.
We knew it was beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas here in the South as well. And folks in this part of the country really aren't used to it being this cold this early in the year. We even had flurries here in Atlanta yesterday afternoon. The reality, though, is that this polar vortex that's dipped down into the states is affecting the Midwest, the Southeast, the Northeast as well. We saw plenty of snow, more than an inch in some parts of the Midwest yesterday into today. There were many accidents as a result of some treacherous, dangerous roadways, more than 100 in Indiana. There were injuries there as well. The snow also hitting parts of Tennessee, North Carolina, even here in Georgia. And that lake effect snow is impacting parts of western New York as well, dumping tons and tons of snow in that area that those folks maybe are a little more used to. But again, folks here in the South are not used to the cold that we've been seeing, with wind chills in the teens and 20s to start out Tuesday. We also saw, as we were sort of moving around in this area, trying to get a feel for what people are dealing with at the zoo in Atlanta, they had to wrap some of the goats. They're wearing coats in some cases, trying to keep those animals warm. And that's just a sign of what's to come. Although we do know that later this week we expect temperatures to climb back above 70 degrees in this area, a little more normal in the South. And of course, winter, the actual winter solstice, is still more than a month away. Now back to you.
And cold weather in our area is triggering another white flag night in Wake County. Warming shelters opened up last night. They are expected to be open tonight as well. The men's shelter is located at Church of the Good Shepherd. The women's shelter is at First Baptist Church, and families can go to the Salvation Army over on Capitol Boulevard. You can track the temperature and weather alerts in the redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center this afternoon, we are learning that the UK is no longer sharing intelligence with the U.S. about suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean. They say they don't want to be involved in U.S. military strikes because they say the attacks are illegal. For years, the UK has helped the U.S. locate these suspected drug boats. After the U.S. began launching strikes back in September, that's when the UK grew concerned. British officials believe that the U.S. military strikes, which have killed 76 people, violate international law. Canada, another key U.S. ally which has helped the U.S. Coast Guard for almost 2 decades, has also distanced itself from the U.S. military strikes.
People across our area are honoring the men and women who have served our country. Orange County hosted its ceremony this morning, and because of the weather, the event was held inside the Southern Human Service Center on Homestead Road in Chapel Hill.
Well, we should absolutely remember them and thank them. The best way to honor our veterans is to follow their legacy of service and to be of service to others.
The Orange County Veterans Memorial remains a living tribute, a place of remembrance that evolves with the community and offers a dignified space for reflection year-round.
An annual tribute to our military also took place this morning at Freedom Memorial Park at Fort Bragg. Blue Star and Gold Star families were honored. This is video of last year's event in Cumberland County. In less than 30 minutes, the Fayetteville Symphony Orchestra's brass quintet will give a Veterans Day performance. This is all happening at the U.S. Army Airborne and Special Ops Museum. We will have a full list of events happening in our area and a breakdown of the different deals and discounts available to veterans. That's all on our website. Just search Veterans Day on WRAL.com.
If you're planning a trip, travel insurance might not be on the top of your list, but it could save you money if you need to cancel. Valeria Aponte Feliciano explains the best ways to find out what's covered.
If you're looking to book a trip, it might be a good idea to look into travel insurance. It can protect you in case of unexpected changes or issues during your journey.
Consider travel insurance if you're traveling internationally or if you're booking non-refundable types of travel, or if you have certain medical conditions or things that you want to make sure are covered.
Melissa Lambarena is with NerdWallet. She says when shopping for travel insurance, you'll want to look at the different plans and understand what's covered. For example, some plans let you cancel for any reason. Others only cover specific reasons. Remember, the more that's covered typically costs more too. Also, check if your credit card has travel insurance.
This is more typical of the credit cards that charge annual fees that focus on earning travel rewards.
Lambarena says for the coverage to apply, you have to use that specific credit card when booking. And again, make sure it has the coverage that you need.
Whatever is covered will only be covered if you use that specific credit card to make the purchase, whether that's airfare, a car rental, or a hotel accommodation.
WRAL 5 on your side has important information you should incorporate into your pre-flight routine, including a list of passengers' rights. Just go to WRAL.com and go to the 5 on your side section.
Camp lawsuit. Families of children killed in Texas floods sue Camp Mystic. What they're accusing camp owners of failing to do.
Plus, keeping your immune system strong. What you should be putting on your plate to get you through the holidays healthily.
Families are demanding accountability for the deaths of 27 campers and counselors who died as floodwaters swept through a Texas camp.
Yeah, we're talking about 3 lawsuits accusing the camp and its owners of gross negligence. Katie Blakey reports on the first legal action taken by victims' families.
Floodwaters claimed the lives of 25 campers and 2 counselors at Camp Mystic on July 4th. Known as Heavens 27, today's lawsuit alleges those deaths were preventable. The suit says, quote, on July 4th, the camp chose to take no steps to protect its campers and counselors while it knew a storm and life-threatening flash flooding were approaching. Instead, with the river rising, the camp chose to direct its groundskeepers to spend over an hour evacuating camp equipment, not its campers and counselors. The suit says the owners knew about the camp's flooding history, yet housed girls in flood-prone areas, and chose not to evacuate children until counselors demanded it. Given a timeline of the night, the suit alleges the camp chose not to evacuate Bubble Inn and Twins Cabin, and that the girls could have easily walked to safety as other campers did earlier in the night. Earlier this year, families successfully pushed Texas to pass bills aimed at preventing similar tragedies. Youth camps in Texas must now remove cabins from floodplains, operate warning systems, and have detailed emergency plans. The parents of Lila Bonner are part of these lawsuits and gave emotional testimony at the state capitol back in August.
I will forever be haunted by the fact that I didn't know what I didn't know. I naively assumed she was safer at camp than anywhere else. When I think about the trauma and fear that our girls endured, it makes me physically ill. This loss is one no parent should have to endure.
Goodness, those poor families. That was Katie Blakey reporting. The flooding killed at least 136 people across that region as parts of the Guadalupe River rose from about 3 feet to almost 30 feet in just 45 minutes. The body of 8-year-old Celie Stewart has still not been recovered. She's the only Mystic camper who has not been found.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, we have some preliminary information from that crash at NC State. This is a live look right there at the scene. You can see that car is gone, but NC State did get back to us. They say this was a single vehicle collision. The vehicle ran the red light. It hit a crosswalk signal and then the NC State sign. They say there was no indication of impairment. The collision possibly due to a medical issue prior. The person suffered minor injuries. They were not taken to the hospital. The driver was cited for a DL violation. They say the NC State Police Department is investigating this crash.
Mealtime doesn't need to be a battle. Coming up, expert tips to introduce new foods to your children and turn those picky eaters into daring discoverers.
The King of Pop does it again. A new posthumous record set by Michael Jackson. Beautiful looking day over at Lake Gaston, though. Can't catch me. I know it's cold outside. You almost got me, Lake Gaston. You're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device.
We are all looking for ways to stay healthy this cold and flu season, and our diets may play a bigger role than we realize. A balanced plate should include a lean protein, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and dairy. Eating this way the majority of the time will ensure your body's getting the nutrients it needs to keep your immune system strong.
Some foods that absolutely can hurt your immune system. These are ultra processed foods. They're not going to nourish your body. They make you, they don't have the right nutrients in them. Alcohol can definitely impact your immune system. So we want to try to pump the brakes on that one.
A balanced diet cannot guarantee that you won't get sick, but here's the thing. It is key to lowering your risk for both short-term illnesses and long-term conditions like heart disease and diabetes.
Blueberries, cranberries, I ate them all. With the constant pressure to be a great parent, it's natural to worry about whether your child is getting the right nutrition to grow strong and healthy. I feel like this story is specifically for me right now. Emily Gibbs shares practical tips for parents to keep in mind at mealtime.
I like pickles and carrots and cucumbers.
You heard right. These kids love their veggies, but it hasn't always been that way.
She was eating yogurt, and that was pretty much it, or shredded cheese. And I was like, surely this is not normal.
Rachel Vernon, like any parent, became concerned.
Oh, she's not getting her half a cup of vegetables or half a cup of fruit and her protein and all of that.
Lots of choices.
Dr. Stephen Cook, director of the Center for Healthy Weight and Nutrition at Nationwide Children's Hospital, hears concerns like Rachel's often.
Your child's healthy. You're doing a good job.
He says not all nutrients need to be eaten in one day.
We'll tell parents a kid's going to regulate their calories and get enough in over a month.
To start, Dr. Cook suggests letting kids taste test.
Trying things. And a try can be a sniff. It can be a lick.
I love that.
You know, put it in your mouth, take a chew. Maybe it's not the same. Okay, we'll spit it out. We'll try it again later.
It may take 12 to 15 tries before a toddler will eat something new. Patience. Don't try to force it. Another helpful tool, role modeling.
Don't get into that short order cook mentality of, well, they'll only eat chicken nuggets, but we're having pork chops and rice. You know, try to have the same thing.
These steps help the Vernon family navigate picky eating and help their little ones grow strong with every bite.
And we like seafood in our house, so we really hope Jordy likes seafood when he grows up. That was Emily Gibbs reporting. If you feel like your child is still struggling to get the right amount of nutrition, seek advice from your child's pediatrician.
I love what they said about try not to be a short order cook where you just try to eat the same thing. If you can, do not be making custom orders for Jordy.
Fair.
He'll eat everything and, you know, hopefully he'll learn.
To the foods.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Right, Elizabeth? I mean, you know, I know it's different for everybody.
You've been through this, though.
Y'all know my story, right? Oh, my goodness. My daughter was easy peasy, and my son, we need to talk about weather. Right? Oh my gosh, look at all this snow, y'all. They're making snow in Winter Place right now. Oh my goodness. Sugar Mountain is open today. And so we're taking a look kind of way down toward the valley right there. And the way this camera moves around, we're actually not seeing the slope where people are skiing on it. But oh my God, it just looks like a beautiful day there. But it is chilly. Here's a look at Boone, seeing a lot of the melting there on the pavement. But boy, the wind has been strong and it's still really cold up in the mountains right now. This is a look at Beach Mountain, and they're planning to open not this Friday, but next Friday. So yeah, they're getting geared up for the season here, and it's not even the middle of November yet. We're getting close. All right, temperatures currently are mainly in the mid-40s, 44 in Goldsboro as well as Rocky Mount, 43 in Southern Pines, 43 in Roxborough right now. And our wind chill's still sitting in the 30s. Keep that in mind as you're heading outside this afternoon. 37 in Southern Pines and Goldsboro. Feels like 37 in Roxborough and in Durham. Our hour-by-hour wind chill will bounce it probably up to the low 40s briefly. But look at this evening. If you're going to be out and about by 8 p.m., if you're running some errands, heading to the store, going to dinner or to a show, 35 degrees at 8 o'clock. And by 11 o'clock, we're feeling like freezing again. And we will fall to freezing overnight tonight. It's breezy out there, too. Winds are gusting anywhere from about 15 to 30 miles per hour, 30 in Fayetteville, 30 in Goldsboro, 28 in Durham and Raleigh, 18 in South Hill. So it is windy out there. And because of that, we do have high fire danger today. You're encouraged not to do any burning. We have relative humidity, which is the amount of moisture in the atmosphere is very low. And with that wind, it means we could, of course, see fires spreading quickly. Gusty today and again for tomorrow, too. Winds gusting up to 30. But by Thursday, the wind begins to calm down a little bit as high pressure moves over us. It'll stop the flow of the wind, at least moving so quickly. You know the drill in the winter time when we start to have to run the heat all the time. You get so dried out, so you get chapped lips and bloody noses and static electricity build up. And of course, we've got that brush fire threat. So all these things are kind of moving into a different phase in our weather. It's not going to last too long, though. The low that helped to bring us that deep trough with all the cold air is moving out, and this high pressure system begins to move back in starting tomorrow. It'll be a little bit of a slow start, at least once we jump to 62. We only make it to 64, but then all the way up to 70 degrees by Saturday. So we'll see some pretty big changes heading our way. Why do we sometimes see these back and forth temperatures this time of year? It's all about the jet stream. When the jet stream sinks southward, it allows all that cold air to come in from Canada. When it lifts northward, it allows all that warmth to move back north with it. And we do see a lot of changes with the jet stream this time of year. And certainly this 7-day forecast is indicative of that, from 46 today to 74 on Monday. How about that?
That just keeps on raising up and up.
Looking forward to that. Well, doing it for the culture. Netflix greenlights the reboot of A Different World. The premise behind the sequel.
And we do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers right here. You have 6, 28, 44, 48, 58. Powerball is 23, and the multiplier is 2.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. The body of Wake Med police officer Roger Smith was transported from the state medical examiner's office to a funeral home in Raleigh. There was a procession that included dozens of officers from several agencies. 59-year-old Smith was killed while working at Wake Med Garner on Saturday. 29-year-old Benji Martin Jr. is charged with murder in the case.
Raleigh police believe alcohol played a role in a wrong-way crash involving a police cruiser. That head-on crash happened around 3:15 this morning, and police say a white BMW was driving the wrong way on South New Hope Road. The officer tried to change lanes to avoid the crash, but the driver hit him and then tried to run away. Police eventually caught him after a brief chase, and he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The officer is expected to be okay.
Air travel headaches continue as 40 of the country's busiest airports see a 6% flight reduction. While RDU is not one of those airports facing cuts, it is seeing the impacts. So far today, 14 flights at RDU have been canceled and 28 have been delayed.
Netflix is bringing fans back to a familiar sitcom world. A sequel series to the classic 1980s and 90s comedy, A Different World, is coming to the streaming service. The first season will consist of 10 half-hour episodes. The new series centers on the free-spirited, well-intentioned, yet rebellious youngest child of Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert from the original A Different World. Original series director Debbie Allen returns to that reboot.
A key piece of Hollywood memorabilia is hitting the auction block. The witch hat from the 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz goes up for grabs December 9th and 10th. The hat, which is made of black wool, stands 14 inches high. It's 19 inches in diameter with a 22-inch chin strap. Bidding starts at $100,000 for this movie piece of history.
Ooh, that's a lot of money. Michael Jackson is back on the Billboard charts. I wish I could show you our floor director dancing right now, but I mean, what else do you do with the song, right? Billboard reports Jackson's classic Thriller returned to the top 10 of the Hot 100 singles charts this week. Jackson is now the first music artist to reach the top 10 in 6 decades, and I will tell you, this song is the perfect final lap song when you're out on the run.
Such a good video. Every time I see that video, I'm like, you know, one of these days I'm going to learn that Thriller dance. Our pet of the day comes to us from the Wake County Animal Center. Parsnip here, a 5-year-old cat who loves being loved on. Brushing, petting, and general social interaction has Parsnip melting in the palm of your hand. So the cat should be kept indoors at all times for her safety. Can we show a picture of her? If you have dogs, cats, or children, the volunteers recommend supervision and slow introductions over time. There we go. We want to see that cute face. Parsnip, you can contact the Wake County Animal Center.
We guaranteed Parsnip airtime. That's why we have to have the picture up there. Reversing a policy change. Coming up at 4 o'clock, why the Wake County Sheriff's Office made the decision to use stun guns for the first time since 2019. How they say it will improve deputy safety.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And please don't forget, you can get breaking news updates anytime with the WRAL News app. We hope you have a blessed day today, and happy Veterans Day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.